Yo, what's happening, YouTube? You already know. All right, so basically, this is a tutorial on how to set up the faders in your knobs on the MPK or MPD to the controls in the faders in Logic. If you want this, the practical application is mixing, but a little trick that you can do is if you're making beats, you're making tracks, record from a bus. Record, get one or two software instruments and record those to a bus into your audio tracks. All right, because that's another little trick. But for mixing purposes, this works fine. Same thing in making beats. It works with software instruments and audio tracks. Any kind of mixer track is gonna work with it. All right. Initially, me personally, what I like to do is I like to set up all software instruments. So I'm gonna just set up one software instrument. I'm gonna create that. All right, then we set this to, my output over here is no output. The reason why I do this is because Logic has this little thing where even if you're plus 6 dB, if I was to turn the gain all the way up on this, it gives you a lot of headroom, so you can actually record a little bit louder than you thought you could through some of these tracks. All right, just make sure that your master fader isn't clipping, but you can clip all you want to in these tracks. Just turn your master fader down, and you'll be surprised at how much headroom you have. All right. So another thing I want to do is create another software, another audio track. I'm gonna just create 4 of them, but you can actually create 24 because you have 3 different banks and 8 faders, so you can actually create 24s and have each one of these set up to a different track if you wanted to. All right. But just for these purposes, for educational purposes, we'll just set up 4 tracks. All right, let me turn the output of this to my stereo output. So that's 4 audio tracks. There's stereo audio tracks, input bus 1. And it all works the same if you wanted to do mono or anything like that. So create those. All right, boom. The reason being is you can see, obviously, if I was on this track, then I could record. Whatever. All right, cool. So let me open up my mixer. So what I want to do is I want to label these according to my faders, just so I know which fader I'm moving. All right. So I already got them selected. I'm gonna just type in F. Well, I'm gonna start at F2 because my first fader is gonna control my software instrument. So I'm just start at F2 or F1 or let me see. F2. You can select them all and you just write in the first and it'll do it sequentially, so you don't have to keep going through and writing them all in. All right. So now I can select each one of these tracks or deselect them all for not. All right, and then again I'm recording. So the key is if I'm recording one instrument here and I want to switch to F4 and then control the volume of that instrument, I can, and I'll show you how to do that in a second. Just know that each one of these numbers, when I look on my MPK, you move. If you hit edit and then you want to change any one of these numbers, just hit edit, move a fader, be F2, just hit enter. Now you can change that number. But for these purposes, we're just going to leave them how they are. F2 is CC 21, F3 22, F4 23, so on and so forth. All right. So we're gonna just remember those numbers, and we're come back to them. My first fader is set up to 7 because I know that's volume. So whatever track I have selected in Logic, it's gonna control the volume. So if I moved it up and down the arrange, it would control the volume of those individual tracks. All right, that's just something I have set up personally. You don't have to do that. All right. So then we're gonna go to the environment. This is kind of like an advanced trick, but it works if you just kind of follow the steps and just bear with me, all right? So what you want to do is create a new transformer device. Sit it down here. Just kind of line them up so, they're kind of even. I'm going to just do 4 of them because I only got 4. I only did 4 audio tracks, but you can have like 24 of these things. You know what I mean? You can have 24 transformer tracks for each separate audio track to correspond with your 24 faders for the 3 banks. All right, and I'm just gonna take this cable from over here from my input view, And I'm just gonna route it over here to my transformer 1. Same thing for transformer 2. Same thing for transformer 3. And the same thing for number 4. All right. So this is track 1, basically F2, 3, 4, 5. All right. I'm gonna click on this transformer. Now you may want to write this down, so I'm gonna go slow. Your mode, you want that to apply operation and filter non-matching events. So it's gonna do whatever the transformer does, and then filter anything else that you don't need to know, that it doesn't need to know. All right. Your status, you want that to equal. You want to go down this drop down menu on the second one where it says note and go to control. Second column is channel is equal to MIDI channel number 1. Data byte, you want that equal to. Now if I look over here on my MPK, it say F2 fader is 21. So I'm going to say that's what I want. My data byte 1 is 21. All right. Then down on the second row, in the first column, you want that to fix that control through channel 1. You want it to fix to, like again, I told you, 7 is volume. So you want to fix data byte 21 into 7. You want to change that, transform it into 7. So if you look over here in the input view, you can see when I move that fader, it says 21. But what it's going to do is going to fix it to 7. That's what the transformer device is doing. So now I go over here to this first transformer device. So when I just edited, I option and click on it, and I route that to the mixer audio F2. All right. So when I go back to my arrange page and I move that F2 fader, now it corresponds with that F2 track. Now it's taking MIDI control change number 21 and turning it into volume. And you know, my number 1 fader still works because I'm still on my electric piano track. All right, so we'll go back and we'll do the same exact thing for the second fader. All right, and apply operation, filter non-matching events. Status is equal to control, channels equal to MIDI channel number 1. Data byte is equal to whatever number 2 is. Whatever number that's at my fader number 3, F3, control change number 22. So I just write that in here. We're gonna filter control change number 22. All right, we're gonna fix that one into control through channel 1. We're gonna fix it to control change number 7. Filter duplicate events, close out of that window. Option click on the mixer, option click on that transformer, we send to the mixer to F3. All right, same exact thing for number 4. You catch my drift? It's a similar thing. All you're doing basically is you're changing that that data byte number. All right, because on channel 1, data byte number, let's see, whatever number 4 is, it's 23. So we switch that one to 23. All right, fix, control, through, fix that one. We're gonna fix it to 7, through, filter duplicate events. We go back over here, option click on it again, go to the mixer, F4. All right, so we assign that to F4, and the same thing for the last track. All right. So basically what you're doing is you're just taking that control change number, whatever it is. It could be 2000, it could be, 20, it could be, 67, whatever, because each bank is going to have a different number. But that's good, because what you do is you just take that number, whatever that number is, you put it over here in the data byte. You just change it to, whatever F4 or F5 is, and that's 24 for me. But it could be 64. You just change it to that. You fix it. Control through. You fix that one. You fix whatever data byte 24 is to 7. All right, go through. Filter non-matching events. Option click on that. Go to audio. F5. All right, cool. So now we can look over here in the mixer. Up fader number F2. That works. F3, same thing. F4, same thing. So now they're assigned. Now each one of these faders is assigned to a different track. So if I'm recording F4 and I want to turn that volume down, or if I want to switch it to F3, now I know. Same thing. All right. So now you can actually assign different parameters to other knobs. So say I go back to my environment and I say, all right, well, I want to assign pan. Same thing. I wish I knew mute. I wish I knew what mute was, because I do that one too. So mute and input select or whatever, or record, enable that track. You can do that. You know, it depends on what purpose you want. So I just do the same thing I did when I started out. Just connect that input view to that transformer. Click on that transformer, apply operation and filter non-matching events. Status is equal to, we go to control, channels equal to 1, data byte is equal to. Now when I touch my knob, you see that's on channel number 9. And you can see it right here. You can either look here, or on the screen on your MPK, and you'll see that it's, on channel number 9, all right? So I want to say data byte number 9. You can fix that one, fix the control through channel 1. We're going to fix it into number 7. I'm sorry, for pan, excuse me. We're going to do 10 for pan. Pan is 10. I don't know mute, but I'll probably put it up in the notes or something, all right? And then we're going to send that, just click on the option, click on it, mixer, audio, F2. All right, so now when we go back here, we see that F2, the volume works, and then K2, adjust the pan, all right? And whatever input is, or record, enable, or whatever that is, you can actually assign that to that MIDI button. Just remember, if you already have that MIDI button assigned to something like sync, like I have, you see how the light turns blue, that it will affect, both parameters as well. So just be mindful of that too. So in mixing purposes, you'd want to have that set up a certain way, maybe not have those same key commands. And just save it as a template. Just go over here, save this template, save it as, I already saved one, a little trial one, Fader X. So I save it, whatever, save it as a template. So now when I close out of this project and I open up a new one, do I want to close the current project? Yup. Do I want to save? Oh, it's asking me on my other screen. Do I want to save it? Oops, I forgot to save it. All right, well, hold on. I got it as a template. Bring that back up, and the stuff still works. You know what I mean? Because I have it saved as a template. So that environment is still saved in that template, and all it's doing is responding to my control changes. So I'm not actually learning anything. I'm not going to, key commands and trying to learn something. I'm not trying to do none of that. What I'm doing is I'm just responding to what's already on my MPK, which is pretty cool, or my MPD, which is pretty cool. So I can real-time control these faders, real-time control the pan, So I'll hear the track and maybe want to turn the volume down on K2, like, oh man, that's my so-and-so track. And you can, label it K2 or F2, the, keys, or F2 bass or whatever, so just make sure that you can either put a piece of masking tape like I have on mine and just, label them like you want to, all right? And that's, that's a basic tutorial. Just mind you, that's only 4 tracks. You can do 24 tracks, you dig? You can have them all software instruments, you can have them all audio. So it really doesn't matter. All right, and that's that.